Crikey, didn't see you there. My name is Simon, and this is Mystery Mike. Hi! For today's Simon Says with Mystery Mike, we are going to be talking about Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel actually came to Babylon with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, as we talked about last week. And King liked these men because they told the truth and they were hard workers. They were always given the most important jobs, which made the other workers of the king jealous. The king's name was Darius. He also liked Daniel. He knew that Daniel was a good worker, so he decided to put Daniel in charge of the whole country. The other servants of the king were very jealous of Daniel, and they tried to find something that would get Daniel in trouble. But Daniel always obeyed God, so they couldn't find anything wrong. Then, one day, they came up to a very sneaky, mean idea to get him in trouble. Finally, these men said to each other, "We can't find anything wrong with Daniel to get him in trouble. The only way we could get him to disobey the king is if we made a law against his God." They knew that Daniel prayed a lot, 3 times a day. So they went to King Darius and said, "O great king, you are so wonderful that no one should pray to anyone but you." The king said, "Well, that sounds like a great idea." Then the men said, "All of your workers have agreed that this should be done, and that if anyone prays to another god, they should be thrown into the lion's den." The workers didn't tell the truth and said that everyone who worked for the king agreed, but of course they never talked to Daniel because they knew he wouldn't agree. The king didn't know this, so he made the law and it couldn't be changed. When Daniel heard about the new law, he did what he always did. He went home to a room upstairs and opened the windows that looked out over the city and prayed. He prayed to God because he knew that God was the only real God and he must pray to him only. 3 times that day, he went down on his knees and prayed to God, just like he always had. These men went as a group to Daniel's house and found him praying and asking God for help. So they ran straight to the king and told him, "Your worker Daniel is ignoring your command. We have seen him praying to his God 3 times a day." When the king heard about this, he was very sad. He really liked Daniel and he didn't want him to die. He tried everything to get the law changed to stop Daniel from being thrown into the lion's den. But the men came to him and reminded him that the law could not be changed and Daniel would have to be punished. So at the end of the day, the king gave the order, and they brought Daniel and threw him into the lion's den. The king said to Daniel, "I hope your God who you serve and pray to will rescue you." A large, heavy stone was rolled in front of the den, and the king went back to his palace with tears in his eyes. That night, King Darius couldn't eat or sleep. He was so worried for Daniel. While Daniel was in the lion's den, they were hungry. They walked around Daniel, sniffing him, but do you think they hurt him? No way! God protected Daniel by sending an angel to shut all the lions' mouths. The next day, as soon as the sun came up, the king got up and ran to the lion's den. As he got closer, he shouted, "Daniel, has your God who you serve and pray to rescued you from the lions?" The king waited quietly for a response. Then, all of a sudden, Daniel said, "O king, live forever. My God sent an angel. He shut all the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me because I have done nothing wrong." The king jumped with joy and immediately ordered that Daniel be removed from the den. And when Daniel was lifted from the den, there wasn't even a scratch on him because he had trusted in God. The king knew that the men had tricked him into punishing Daniel, so he punished them. After that, the king made a new law and said, "Daniel's God is great, and I order that everyone in my kingdom must respect the Lord God who rescued Daniel from the hungry lions." Crikey! That story was crazy good. Could you imagine how lonely it was in the lion's den? There was nobody in there with him. There was no tablets, toys, stuffed animals, laptops, or phones. Geez, Simon, that does sound lonely. What do we learn from today's Simon Says? Well, Mike, in our lesson today, we learned that we need to pray to God and look for Him in the situation that we are in, even if He doesn't respond right away. Hey, my name is Simon, and this was Simon Says with Mystery Mike. Signing off for now. God bless. Also, guys, Simon Says will now be airing on Thursdays, not Wednesdays, just so that you guys know. God bless.